Hello guys and welcome back to Gemini Gamer. So this is gonna be a very special, not really special, but just a kind of big episode, just a very large episode in terms of game content because of, the reason that I ended up recording too many episodes and I was actually kind of, had too much footage and I didn't really know what to do with it. So I decided to just put everything in one episode because, a couple of episodes here are kind of just me just building up the army in terms of, getting ready for an invasion of other places once the Soviet Union is defeated, which as you can see here in the footage now, it looks like it's pretty much it. So at this point we're just rushing for Stalingrad. We don't even have to take Moscow, which is good because the Germans weren't pushing anymore. So that helped out. So I was just basically going for Stalingrad now. And once that fell, the whole Soviet Union collapsed. So, that was the end of it, of that war. And we end up having a little bit of a peace treaty at some point in the next couple seconds here. So, everything went out well, I guess, in terms of the war. In terms of the last part of the war. So, yeah. So this whole footage is gonna be, 4 whole episodes. Initially, I was only gonna do 2 or 3 episodes into this one mega episode. I was planning it, but the last 2 episodes I had an issue where my voice was not recorded for some reason, and I really don't know why. I think I just forgot to turn off the mic, but maybe that's why. So there were really good episodes, which is the disappointing part. I wanted to have those 2 episodes as their own individual parts. So, sadly I couldn't do it. So there goes the peace treaty. I had to do this instead because it didn't have any voice to it. So you would just be watching me playing the game, and that's kind of boring. So, unless you're into that, some people are. So anyway, so here I try to get some strategic spots, but the Germans beat me to the Ukraine. They take all of the Ukraine. I just get Crimea and a little bit down in Georgia and Azerbaijan and Armenia. All those good little countries down there. I get those countries. And we actually end up with a tiny bit of border gore. A tiny bit, not much. But that's mostly due to the AI's fault. Honestly, it could have been worse. Look at that. That's how we end up. Finland is mega Finland now for some reason. Like, I haven't even seen Finland get that big in any game I played. So, it's a mega super Finland, greater Finland, I don't know. Groups Finland or something, I don't know what it's called. But anyway, so yeah, we failed to take some important territories that I wanted to take to make our borders look a little bit better to the east. But, that's okay. So, yeah, and also another thing I want to mention, I want to apologize for the lack of episodes I've been uploading. I haven't really done many uploads. That's why I also made this mega episode, so I can get this out of the way and start recording more videos that I can upload. I didn't want to upload something that was just for, time consuming, like a placeholder. So I took a little bit of a longer break than I thought I would, but most of that break was me thinking about where this channel was going to go. Since we do have more than 100 subscribers now, so we are kind of, a little bit. We're doing all right. I'm happy with it. It could have been, it could have been way worse. I had a goal of 100 subscribers. I'm pretty sure you've seen some of these, but you probably heard it. So we hit that a little bit later after the new year, but I'm okay with it. I'm not angry about that. That's fine. I expected it. But we got close. We were like 1 or 2 subscribers away. And we ended up completing it the day after. So that's good for me. No big deal. We got 100 subscribers in 2018, not 2017. But whatever. It's just 1 year, right? And right now we're sitting at 107. Last I checked. I didn't check this morning. But maybe we are. Maybe we aren't. I don't know. We probably still are. I haven't uploaded anything for you to keep subscribing. But I just want to say thanks for that. I appreciate it. We may still do a 100 subscribers special. School started. Normal school started for normal kids, students. So your Mominator and Jay are not gonna be having too much time to work on anything in the next couple weeks, since teachers are dicks in the first couple weeks back. The trick about school is, and this is from experience, just work really hard in those first 2 weeks, and you end up winning your teacher's trust. And with that, they're not gonna you know, even if you mess up later on, they're gonna forgive you a couple of times, as long as you don't like kick someone or beat someone up in class. You know what I mean? Like, you mess up in an assignment, they trust you, they know you tried, they'll give you a break. So that's a good little tip for school. So anyway, they have to do that first, and then maybe we'll do something. But if not, then just know we appreciate it. And maybe I might make something myself, but I kind of wanted them to be part of it because, you know, they were a part of the channel, and Jay really started working really hard to like spread the word out in the last couple of days there, which is one of the main reasons we reached 100 subscribers. So if you ended up subscribing, thanks to Jay. You know, I thank him. So I mean, thank you for subscribing. And you know, so yeah, so I took a little bit of a break in order to get more ideas and things of what I wanted to do, and you know, I got some ideas. So this series is gonna get finished. By the end of this, we pretty much control all of Northern Africa by the end of the episode. The only reason we don't finish controlling is because of AI and time constraints. That last episode was kind of a little bit of a B, so you know what I mean? So in the end, by this, we should be in a good spot. So anyway, back to the video. I went off a little bit off track there, but yeah, just know there's a lot of stuff coming up. And also I ended up getting a GTX 980. It's an upgrade from my R9 380, so you know, you just think about that. But videos probably won't change much in terms of, you know, frame rate and stuff like that because of my processor. My processor is still pretty crap. It's the FX 6300. I mean, it's a good budget option, but not as much as when it, you know, not as much of a good budget option as back when I first got it. So now you can just get a Ryzen 3 or something like that, and you'll be fine. So, you know, that's just the way it is. But once you get that, once I get a better processor, which probably would be an AMD processor due to the Intel stuff that's been going on recently. I don't know how that's been progressing. Maybe the Intel got their stuff together, so, or maybe they didn't. I don't know. If they, you know, whatever. I don't know. But I haven't paid attention too much. I was actually paying more attention to graphics card, and I realized that the GTX 980s were actually going up in price instead of going down. So I was like, I'm gonna try to find a really good option, and I ended up finding one in Craigslist. So I got one for $200. It's a super clocked 4GB model, so it's not bad for $200. And you know, I got my original R9 380 for $200 about a year ago or two, and I think it's a good option. So no big deal. I got a little bit of an upgrade and maybe some performance boost. I mean, I'm just gonna max out my processor for real this time. So hopefully we see some of that, and if we don't, then because you'll have to wait till we get a better processor, which will be soon. I also got an SSD, but that's just gonna be my performance on my side in terms of time constraints. It's, you know, time consuming and launching software. So anyway, back to the video. Right now there isn't much going on in the footage because of the reason that it takes a while to build up your army. It really does, and that was the main goal of like 2 episodes in between. So we're building up basically military factories and stuff like that, because also I was a little bit scared that once we started expanding into these states like Turkey and Greece, that Germany was going to allow Turkey to join their faction. And if that happened, you know, we're going to have a second front at the top, and a third front, I guess, if you consider Italy's border, which, you know, Italy was looking like they were not going to make it at some points in this episode, and they got their stuff together. So, you know, good for them, I guess. But that also means that we're not going to be getting Northern Italy until after the war, which, you know, it's not that bad, but I mean, it's okay. It's alright. No big deal. So, anyway, so Japan ended up also getting a really nice peace deal and determining, you know, considering how the Soviet Union was divided. And I actually ended up getting less than I wanted, so I think I was clicking through what bits I wanted over there in Northern Austria, or Northern Hungary, I guess, or Southern Poland, and Western Ukraine. So I wanted Western Ukraine, and I couldn't get that. So that was just the end of that for me. But we ended up getting a lot of oil, which, you know, wasn't something that we needed, but, you know, I guess we took it. And Germany's gonna need oil, so we're still gonna get some trade from them. So, but we still need a lot of rubber, so that was kind of one limitation that we were having. And then steel, once we declared war on the Allies through Greece, steel was a limitation too. And yeah, so as you can see, I already moved my armies to strategical positions. I don't think I've deployed the new army that I deployed in the Turkish eastern border with my territory over in southern Russia, what was the old Russian or Soviet Empire or Soviet, Soviet Union. So I end up covering that front too once I declare war on them too. So as you can see, my Czech army is now being used for a garrisoning army. I end up using them to garrison Greece. Once we take Greece, I used a common trick that the AI cannot understand or isn't able to actually defend against, and that is declaring war on one of the countries that doesn't really have a large army to defend its own borders, or a country that already gave all of its army to the largest country, the main leader of the faction, which is the UK. And once they do that, so anyway, once you declare war on them, they can't defend their borders, so you can just launch your army and make sure to take all the ports, and that'll be it. The Allies will lose a country, and basically I'll be securing all my southern front, closing that front, and I'll be able to again expand my shoreline, which I need at this point because of my naval issues. As you can see, my navy is consisting of 10 ships. And one of the bigger ships that we end up building actually gets built in the wrong port, and that causes other issues where I can't go through the Turkish, through Istanbul, whatever that's called. So I can't go through there because Turkey is not happy about us declaring war on them. So once we do that, once we start preparing for the invasion and increasing our army, we start deploying our air force and stuff like that. And I also start realizing here that steel is still going to be a massive issue for me since I failed to secure the Ukraine. If I could have taken the Ukraine, steel would have been no issue for me, but I couldn't. I did not have the required war score to take more territory, so I end up having issues with steel. And Germany, before I declare war on the Allies, Germany closes their trading border to us, causing issues to us that we cannot keep, basically producing ships and guns and basic equipment for my army. So I end up deciding that I need to declare war as soon as possible right now, since I do have a surplus of weapons and other stuff like that. As long as that exists, I can actually defeat Greece and probably grind Turkey down to a point where I can defeat them, and also take their small incy-wincy amount of steel in Istanbul. So once I take that, once that's been taken, I guess. A little bit of a steel issue is still a massive issue, but it's a little bit more adequate. I mean, I can reduce some factories and increase some other factories to make sure we have some sort of production going to everything at all times. But, yeah. So there I'm talking about how I'm not going to be able to take Crete because of the reason that my navy is still pretty weak, and I will not launch a air invasion because of how the AI works. The AI does this weird thing where they stack a bunch of divisions into one little port, and if you can't take a port, you're at this point in the game, once the new update, the new DLC comes out, you can supply your army with air superiority, I guess, kind of. Basically, that's the way it works, but there's really no real way to know. I haven't seen many videos of it yet. Paradox hasn't. I haven't checked out. I'll check it out. So anyway, I noticed something very strange. Italy actually, invaded Norway. I don't know if that happened before or if it did, but they were doing pretty well. But they eventually end up losing. I think they actually lost it at this point, so I'm not too sure. So yeah. Look at what I meant about Italy, about getting basically about to lose. So they had lost their basically northern capital up there. Would have been it, and Italy would have capitulated, and Germany would have been in trouble. And once I declare war, I would have needed another army to take care of the Italy situation. But you know how the AI works. Once you start declaring war on somebody, they stack a bunch of troops on your border. But thankfully, I guess, maybe not really thankfully, because we could have used some of the steel in Italy. Italy isn't a good trader. They just can't trade. They don't have the ability to. I don't know why. They just can't export enough steel. But, I would have been happy with occupying at least a portion of Italy. I would have definitely helped them out, but, I would have wanted a bit for myself, you know what I mean? So, yeah, look at what I meant about Italy, about getting basically about to lose. So they had lost their basically northern capital up there. Would have been it, and Italy would have capitulated, and Germany would have been in trouble. And once I declare war, I would have needed another army to take care of the Italy situation. But you know how the AI works. Once you start declaring war on somebody, they stack a bunch of troops on your border. But thankfully, I guess, maybe not really thankfully, because we could have used some of the steel in Italy. Italy isn't a good trader. They just can't export enough steel. But, yeah, so we're basically ready to invade. There we go. There we go. We attack Greece. We make sure our army starts going in as fast as possible. Switch them to aggressive. And they start marching in. And as I said before, there was no resistance. There was no troops up until like the final bit, down to where the capital is of Athens. So once we got there, there was a bit of resistance, but not that much. Not as much as you would think. So, yeah. We end up securing their territory really fast. And their steel situation actually gets solved. As you can see, we have negative 108, but Germany decides once they declare war on them that it's a benefit if they give us steel to keep increasing the size of our army. So thank you, Germany, I guess. I don't know, maybe. So once that happens, we take it, get as much steel, and we start rushing for Athens. We destroy what was left of the Greek army on the mainland, and then we continue moving forward. So then we start moving around some pieces like we start garrisoning up the ports. You know, make sure when you attack Greece, make sure you garrison the ports, because it gets annoying, man. It really does. If you fail to do that, these guys are going to keep invading until they stack like 60 divisions in one of the ports, and then you can't kick them out, and then they push you out, and then the mountains is going to make attrition very bad. You're going to push them out eventually, but you're going to lose a lot of men, so just be careful with that. And yeah, so now we have a very large port in the Mediterranean, so which is good. We needed that, I guess. We didn't have one of those. We had one in the Black Sea, but that was just the Black Sea. We had two actually with Sevastopol, thanks to the invasion of Russia, which actually got some territory. So you can see Germany's actually not happy with me, which is why I was a little bit nervous about declaring war on Turkey, which is also why I went a little bit slower than I should have in terms of justifying war goals and stuff like that. But in the end, it did work out, I guess. We end up declaring war on them too, and once we do that, it's basically just the end of any war on this continent other than Italy. So, and other than naval invasions. Once we take Turkey, they start worrying about naval invasions, but we solved that, I think, for us at least. And I'll explain why in a little bit, because we end up having a really successful. So as you can see there, you can see the steel in Istanbul. I really want that steel, just in case Germany decides to be a jerk and takes it away again. So we need that. And I think I even sent some planes to help out Mussolini in his situation over there. Getting invaded and stuff like that. So I sent some planes, I think, here. I'm pretty sure I do. Try to help him out, maybe. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I guess I did. Yeah, I sent some planes there, you can see. Some planes. Help him out a little bit. Bomb a couple troops and stuff like that. Give him a little bit of attrition. At this point, I was hoping that they would still capitulate. I wasn't thinking like, they're going to survive somehow. I thought they were going to be killed. But, the Allies started struggling, and their Germany invited me to a faction. I'm like, nah, I don't want it. So anyway, eventually Italy does push them back a little bit. Right before I ended the last episode, they were almost done pushing them back. And also because of another reason that I was talking about. That I'll talk about in a little bit. So at this point, I'm like thinking, man, I'm gonna have to fight my way all the way through Turkey, all the way to northern Africa, and then I was like, I'm gonna need a navy to invade the U.S. And I'm like, oh man, no. But I end up deciding that that wasn't gonna happen. So I need to find my way all the way to West Africa, and then invade Brazil through that. Which maybe would have worked out. Maybe it wouldn't have. I don't know. But if it did, good. If it didn't, then whatever, but it might have worked out at some point, if I could have, but I don't know. At this point, I don't know. I didn't get far enough to. As you can see, my ship got deployed in Athens for some reason. I don't know why, but there goes another battleship, and I actually end up sending it out in a grand mission to destroy something. I ended up destroying a couple of destroyers, which I'm good with. I mean, yeah, whatever. And we start building a carrier at some point in this episode. So yeah, I'm really trying for the Navy solution, just to go straight to the U.S. But then I'm thinking, I don't have any ports available for me or anything like that, so I can't really do much. And I also have to defeat the UK, which I can't really do right now unless I use the German ports in the north, which I might. But for now, I need to defeat them in northern Africa in order to break out of the Mediterranean. So if I do end up building a navy big enough to do that. So I mean, they somehow managed to invade Norway at some point here. So yeah, and I just realized there's a German panzer division stuck there at the boot of Italy, which they're not destroying. The Allies are not attacking. As you can see, there's my big naval battle. I destroyed a couple of destroyers, which is alright. I mean, that's for like 4 months worth of production. if you put 15 dockyards into one of your little things. So I'm trying to get it out of there as quickly as possible and see if I can save it before it gets destroyed. And so yeah, it's a pain, and we had to wait a long time for this justification to go through for Turkey, which is, you know, not the best. But once the invasion starts, we start pushing in. I make sure that we surround a couple troops at Istanbul on our side of the border of the strait. So once we do that, we end up pushing all the way to the other side. We secure all the chromium, all the steel, and we end up garrisoning all the ports as quickly as possible. Make sure we do that. Make sure you do that when you do this. And we also secure a lot of territory from Turkey, which has a lot of industrial possibilities, which means it has a lot of openings in terms of, you know, things you can build on it. So that helps out a lot. So we start building a lot of junk on there, a lot of naval dockyards in order to expand our navy as quickly as possible. So within the next couple years, by 1945, we should be ready to push on to the outside of the, you know, the Mediterranean. So I think once we do that, once those dockyards get complete, after the invasion happens, as you will see here in a couple seconds, I think we're pretty much ready to go. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly, at this point, but I'm talking about how I'm worried about them joining the Axis instead of the Allies, which was a possibility. You never know. It happened to me last time I attacked I think I attacked Yugoslavia, and then they ended up, they were not aligned, but they ended up joining the Axis. So, you know, whatever. I declare war, and the invasion begins. So we start pushing in my army. I have tank divisions now. I ended up producing tank divisions. I'll talk about them a little bit more in the next episode, how I set them up and how I made them really good, I guess. I mean, not the best. You could always stack more tank divisions into a single division, but, you know, whatever. It worked out in the end. I pushed this little defensive perimeter they have here. I push them out of their capital, or not their capital, sorry. Sorry, Turkish people. I didn't mean to insult you. But, yeah, Istanbul. We push them out of Istanbul, and then we, yeah, basically we push them out, keep pushing. And once we break through this little province here, that's it. Most of the resistance collapses after this. I mean, yeah, they have mountainous areas that they are able to defend very well, but, you know, my army's a lot bigger and a lot larger, and the Allies failed to send any help to them. And as you can see on the other side, on the eastern border, they are actually attacking onto my troops, which are superior to theirs, and they're just basically struggling. So we're going to launch the attack there soon. I'll wait a little bit longer for them to waste more of their manpower than me and their supplies. And as you can see, their army's getting stretched, you know, basically really far out, and they are not able to basically defend themselves anymore. So I end up taking more cities, more and more, and then they capitulate, basically. They can't stop me anymore. Once they lost a little defensive perimeter up in Istanbul. Once they lost that, that was pretty much it at the end of the war for that country. So they do capitulate, and they do it pretty fast, actually. So we take their capital, and then we take Izmir, and once I think we take that, I think that's it. I don't remember very well, but it was a while back. So we end up deploying more divisions in order to help me garrison the rest of the territory, the coastal territory that I'm going to get. And then we start pushing on the east towards the west, I guess, instead of the west towards the east. So once we start doing that, their whole situation gets even worse. And overall, it looks like the invasion was a very successful thing. You know, we managed to secure the Black Sea, so we can move one of our armies that was, you know, basically garrisoning the Black Sea coast on that side. So once that happens, basically that's pretty much it. We can move that other army and basically use them for combat too, in case, you know, something else changed. So there I position my troops. Make sure you capture the ports on that side of Turkey, on the western side, because it's very likely that the Allies are going to immediately start to invade, and, you know, they probably have some troops stationed there already due to, you know, the point that you already invaded this. They already been trying to invade things. So be careful. Make sure that you keep those ports. Make sure you basically starve those troops. So here, basically my goal is to capture the Suez Canal. I use one army in order to invade. Very successful invasion. I start seeing some little bit more Allied resistance instead of just Turkish resistance, which was back there, some French. But we take Syrian French fairly easily, like very easily. So very cool stuff. There we try to attack over there. I'm complaining how my tank division is getting slowed, and I know it's over water, but still, man, come on. Anyway, so we keep pushing. We don't even need air superior. I notice that Spain is also getting wrecked, and I also notice that if we take this, and I'm gonna explain why this is important. Once we take this, thing here, the Allies will not be able to deliver troops into the Mediterranean through the ocean anymore. They can't. Well, yeah, of course they can, but not the Mediterranean coast, I guess. Do Mediterranean coast. I mean, I can't explain it, but they're gonna have to use the coast to send troops into the Mediterranean now. They have to use the ports in Africa to send troops in there now because they can't go through the Suez or the Gibraltar or whatever that freaking thing is called. They can't use that either, the Spanish Strait either. So basically, what I'm talking about now, I'm struggling with the AI a little bit. I don't know why the AI is kind of stupid, but anyway. If we take all the ports in northern Africa, that army that invaded Italy is going to get absolutely destroyed due to issues with supplies. And that'll be it. Like, they won't be able to supply their army anymore. And after that happens, I think Italy's going to be just fine. Usually, Italy is a weak spot, but once we take that, that's it. It's over. Nothing can stop anything anymore. All they got to do is just destroy the Allied army. As you can see, once we start doing this, the Allies, I think the AI starts to pull out of Africa. I mean, not Africa, of Italy. And then I talk about how Italy has no more ports, so there's no real reason for me to push south. So anyway, my army is just basically grinding through all the way through northern Africa. As you can see, the attrition there is horrible. I decided not to send another army because there's really no need. There's not enough Allied divisions there, at least all the way till we get to to the western coast. Then there's a couple of American divisions over there, but other than that, it wasn't really much. So yeah, I think I end up one of the episodes here, and then I move on to the next episode. I think I do. Yeah. It's almost over, guys. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get all the way out there, but I think we might. So yeah, this is a new episode. Yeah, this is the last episode. So we start pushing all the way to Western Africa. And I've talking about like how the hell am I gonna get to freaking the British Raj, and I'm like talking about Iran and stuff like that, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I didn't even check if we had to defeat the British Raj. You know, sometimes the British Raj ends up getting more factories than they need, and you know, basically that causes us to basically have to defeat them in order to end the war. But you know, that's beyond the point. So yeah, we continue pushing. So as you can see, the plan now is just to cut any way for the Allies to get any supplies into this territory. Once that's it, that's over, that's done. And as you can see, Italy's starting to push back now, which is surprising, but it's mostly just German divisions at this point. I mean, there was German divisions in the bottom peak, the furthest down south you can go, basically, and then the Italian mainland. So basically, that's cool. So yeah, we continue pushing, and you can see my territory keeps getting bigger and bigger, which is cool. I like seeing that. I'm like thinking about, what if we build infrastructure there in that territory? Can we travel to there or something? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how the game works in that situation, but maybe I don't know. But yeah, guys, this thing's about to end in like 2 more minutes. So I hope you appreciate this. I'm trying to get this out as quickly as possible. There, the AI messes up, so I lose my cover in the south. So I have to move it back, and you know, it's just a pain in the butt. It really is. The AI needs to get better, like for real. We almost end up screwing up there, really badly, but we figure it out. We fix it. And yeah, I mean, overall, this whole 4 episodes were very successful. We took Greece, we took Turkey, and we're taking northern Africa. We took northern British Africa, and we're taking northern French Africa. We end up stalling a little bit due to my army getting a little bit thin because most of my troops are going over there. I do not know why that's the way that works, but I need to figure that out. Our navy gets a lot bigger. We have 17 boats, including the freaking battleship, the rogue battleship that we had. So you can see my army's getting, you know, spread out there a lot. And yeah, so yeah, our Austro-Hungarian Empire is looking like a real empire. Like, the text for the country goes across the ocean now. Like, I never even seen that before. Like, I never have. So, you know, cool stuff. So, I mean, it really is an empire now, like, for real. So, it's all good. Like, for real. Like, I've never seen that before. So, I'm happy with that. We're gonna start thinking about, you know, I started thinking about how to expand my navy even more, but I can't. Italy doesn't have any ships to give me which sucks. I don't know why Italy's just bad. But yeah, guys, hope you appreciate it. I hope you enjoy this type of episode. I'm probably not gonna do too many of these because of, you know, the way they are edited and stuff like that. I mean, I don't mind. If you guys really like it, I might change my mind and keep doing them this way. But leave a comment if you do. And if not, then I'll go back to the old way I did them. Hopefully you enjoy one of those two ways. If not, also leave a comment on if you want me to do it a little bit different. And I also hope you enjoy the way I've been expanding. I've been doing it a little bit differently, my own way. I have my own way of playing games. I also, you know, I want to make it a little bit harder for myself just to make it a little bit more interesting. It's something that, you know, if you cheat or lie, things get too easy and the games are not fun anymore. So again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment, and share. Click on the notification bell to get notifications, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Goodbye.